Acadia National Park is a scenic area spread across a collection of hilly, forested islands off the coast of Maine, an area greatly affected by climate change. In fact, Acadia National Park was named as one of the national parks most at peril from the impacts of climate change. One of the many ways that climate change is affecting the park is through temperature rise. Temperature rise has had a huge impact on the plants and animals in the national park. Acadia, which is mostly forest, is adapted to deal with mild summers and harsh winters. The temperatures in Acadia have warmed about 3.4 degrees Fahrenheit over the last century, and without significant climate action, they could rise between 5 and 13 degrees Fahrenheit. This may not sound like much, but it is. For example, when the average temperature of Acadia was 8 degrees Fahrenheit colder than it was before the onset of human-caused climate change, it was under a mile of ice. 8 degrees Fahrenheit of warming would be similarly disastrous for the national park. As temperatures rise, plants and animals' habitats will not be suitable anymore, so many will not survive and whole species could suffer. For example, cold climate red spruce, which makes up 40% of the forest in Acadia, is struggling because of the summer droughts and warmer winters that climate change has brought, and it is predicted to lose suitable habitat. To give another example, bird populations in Acadia have significantly declined in the last 15 years, and some species, like boreal chickadees, no longer breed in Acadia. Additionally, higher temperatures allow invasive species to take over. Pests and diseases that were previously unable to take hold in Acadia's unique climate are now able to survive the winters and thrive in the summers. For example, warming has brought a large increase in ticks in Acadia, which have introduced many health risks such as Lyme disease. Another example is the invasive red pine scale insect, which killed all of the red pines throughout the park in just a few years. Invasive species can also harm native plants by simply outcompeting the natives and crowding them out. All of this has resulted in the tragic fact that 1 of every 6 plant species found on Mount Desert Island when the national park was founded is no longer inhabiting the island, and many of the remaining native plant species have declined in abundance. Climate change has also caused an increase in precipitation in Acadia National Park. The average annual precipitation in Acadia has increased by 6 inches. This might sound great, since most places in the United States are facing severe droughts, but more water has problems of its own. Firstly, the storms that are bringing this water to Acadia are becoming harsher and harsher, which erodes mountain summits, carriage roads, and trails, and causes devastating floods. For example, a storm in June of 2021 dropped a record-breaking 5 inches of rain in less than 3 hours and damaged Acadia's 45-mile historic carriage road system, as well as trails, streams, and paved roads. The storm cost over $1.5 million in infrastructure damage and repair costs, not including the environmental costs. These rain and snowstorms that would historically break records will occur much more often, and the huge floods they bring will damage plants beyond repair and drown out any remaining wildlife. Additionally, while there is more precipitation in Acadia, more of it is coming as rain, meaning the park isn't receiving the snow it is adapted to deal with. Snow helps keep the park cooler by reflecting sunlight instead of absorbing its heat, and the winter freezes it enables are a crucial part of local ecosystems and help keep invasive species at bay. Furthermore, while there will be more rain in Acadia as climate change worsens, the summer will become drier, meaning there could still be harmful droughts even if the park is technically getting wetter year-round. The ocean ecosystems of the area are also struggling, as warmer oceans are having some huge consequences. The Gulf of Maine, which surrounds Acadia National Park, is normally cool, but has risen about 3 degrees Fahrenheit over the last century. This may not seem like a big difference, but a few degrees can have a major impact. In fact, the Gulf of Maine is one of the fastest warming parts of the ocean. These higher temperatures, along with the increasing frequency of marine heat waves, are changing the migration patterns of sea creatures, altering how ocean animals feed, and disrupting tide pool communities. In addition to getting warmer, the sea is also rising. Sea levels in Acadia have risen by around 8 inches since 1950. This is enough to significantly increase shoreline erosion, including the erosion of heritage sites of the indigenous Wabanaki tribe. Additionally, the ocean is acidifying. The acidity of the ocean has increased by 30%, which is the fastest known change in ocean chemistry in the last 50 million years. More acidic oceans make it difficult for organisms like clams and sea snails to form and maintain shells. There are many more problems facing this area, from air pollution to overcrowding to littering, and we have to do what we can to stop them. The National Park Service and its partners are working hard to adapt to the effects of climate change and preserve everything they can in Acadia, but they can only do so much. Unless we stop climate change, things will only get worse. So we must stop burning fossil fuels, and we must pressure our leaders to shift to greener economies if we hope to avoid the worst impacts of climate change and save amazing places like Acadia. While Acadia National Park is one place that is greatly affected by climate change, everywhere will feel its effects. We need to take action while we still can, and we must solve this crisis.